Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Play Vagrant Story. I went and beat up the dummy, and at the end, you get some stuff. A Vero root, a Cure root, and an Elixir of Queens. As you can see, this is a stat increasing item. All the elixirs in the game are and work this way, and this one adds a few points to HP. And because we did all of our chains pretty well, I think... microphone. There you go. I think the highest I got was 12, which is pretty good for me. The timing changes ever so slightly as it moves on, so it's tricky. But because we changed so well, we get to learn a couple of things. So, reduces MP, regenerates MP, adds numbness, adds poison. To be honest with you, most of these, I don't really use. I have like a base 3 that I stick with. So, let's use this elixir. +2, that's not bad. So you can see our risk got super high, me doing that, but it drops pretty quick. So we're actually just gonna wait for it to drop, and while we do that, I kind of want to mention, again, there's no money, there's no experience in the game. You find items. We heard about a workshop. We should be finding our first workshop either this episode or the next. And once we get to the workshop, I'm going to have to go over to my shelf and pull out a binder. I have a binder that has a walkthrough of this. There's a map for an area later I'm going to be using. And, the way we upgrade our weapons, if we don't want to wait for enemies to drop them, is we build our own. And that comes from combining parts, weapons and armor both. So, oh yeah, I should probably check this. That got our human class up to 18. Pretty good. Yeah. I will be referring to that a lot because there's a lot of weapons and armor in this game, and sometimes combining two things of a different material will get you something worse, and sometimes it'll get you something better. It's a lot of bats in this room. You cannot chain anymore if your attack has killed an enemy. Thanks, wolf. That is the one that would have restored our health. And much like we talked the other day about chaining attacks based on criticals, if you do the restorative ability off a critical, you will get more health back, since it is damage based. That again is our chain ability that restores some weapon damage. That's the one that restores some health. And as you can tell, it also restored the condition of our person. Where are you, Bat? Bat's not gonna come when the wolf's ready. The wolf had to stop being ready. Getting the right chain ability set, it's really important to help you stay alive and get through battles, because I tell you, some of these boss battles, we're going to run into stuff that we'll do single-digit damage to. Oops. Push the button one too many times. And that's just kind of because I think the game almost wants you to do more running around and prep work. Than I usually do. So, you know, there are enemies, like we barely will run into a dragon. If you remember, dragon was on our list. we'll barely run into phantoms and evil. So it's a little difficult to kill some of them because you're not going to have a weapon that's got an affinity for those types. I could use the crossbow, the bow gun, make those a little easier, but working on making a beast weapon, and I want the axe. I generally prefer melee weapons to ranged weapons in these games. Ah, the gust trap. Did you remember it was there? That's why I stepped on it, so you would remember. Ready? Nope. Yeah. Let's do a quick heal. Now we have a spell. Heal is regarded as a shaman spell, so that's over there. Work. And our MP will slowly re-heal. Re-heal? Regenerate. Risk reduces the fastest, MP regenerates the second fastest, and HP regenerates the slowest. But it's not terribly slow when you're outside of battle. Where is he? There he is. Wolf over there. And he will jump on the block and wait. Let's learn another spell. Oh, he's not in range. So close though. Strength is pretty much just attack power based. It doesn't have much to do with defense. So don't be expecting that to make a difference. And need the container? No. Not yet, anyway. Opening and closing the container requires the game to load a save and then save over a save. There we go. And it takes time. It's a dead guy. Oh no. What do we have that's good against undead? Well, this is the least bad. Lets us get some distance and shoot lots of things. But as you see it, damage-wise, not as good as the other stuff. You do get a Metal Gear style alert over Ashley's head to hit your buttons for the timing on that. Hey, we got his sword. Andy. I don't look for it. Anytime I look for it, I'm late. You just kind of get a feel for it. Piercing sword, one hand. And you gotta put your shield back because you equipped a two-handed item. We will be using this rapier as our undead weapon. No, it's not going to be the best one for a little while. We don't have anything that's going to be great for undead for a little while. We have two types of undead. We have zombies and ghouls. The corpse highlighted there in our map box, that is a ghoul. It's different. The enemies are kind of sort of smart enough to not attack through themselves. This weapon does not work very well against this ghoul. Now what we could do, we could have stayed up there and sniped him with our bowgun. You can see how quickly your risk can go up. Uh-oh. Wasn't expecting that. Get rid of this guy first. You might have noticed in the targeting thing that we couldn't target his left arm. Didn't have one. Yeah. Can't hit me. You're hitting the thing. But, oh. That was way fast. Knew that. So this is not a great weapon for the undead. But it will be. We learned a thing. And for now, I'm just gonna take them as they come. So our damage output has gone up. You might have noticed. But our hit percentage has gone down because our risk is up to 25. Since MP regenerates, and really since HP regenerates, magic is more effective. But it can miss. Anyway, you really have essentially unlimited health and magic if you want to take the time to let it regenerate and fill. I'm going to try not to let that be a thing. And if I need to, I'll just heal with some magic or an item. We'll hang out a little bit for the risk to drop and then move on. If it's really high, I'll use an item. Hey, we got a break art. What is a break art? Well, if we come over here, it's in our shortcuts now. This is a attack specific to types of weapons. So this is axe and mace type, and it whips a stunning sheet of air at our foe. Its affinity is as of weapon, so if it's a axe it's really good with water, it will be water, fire, etc, etc. And it will hit with blunt force, which is good against the undead. But you see at HP 25, it hurts us to use this. I don't use break arts very often. And they're cool, they're kind of handy, but I don't like using attacks that hurt me. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Big old double door though. Your health and stuff does not regenerate in first person, but don't sit there and think you can just pause your way through a battle. Ain't gonna work. There are break arts, like I said, for every type of weapon. That includes bare hand. You can play this game barehanded if you want. You don't get any affinity. You don't get any type bonus. Even open both doors. Uh-oh. I heard the door lock. I see a treasure chest over there. This room looks big and bossy, doesn't it? Remember how I said we'd get to a boss fight and we would kind of do crap damage? Say hello to our second boss, the Dullahan. Let's hit him with Degenerate. So, one problem, he is an evil type. You don't run into evil very often. One problem with sometimes trying to attack and get your chain arts good is while you're pushing the button to try and attack, the enemy will attack and you'll miss out on a chain art. So, where should we hit? Oh, the abdomen. That's good damage, but that's really unlikely to hit, especially as our risk goes up. So, arms. And I was way slow. That's the one I want. Uh-oh. You're a jerk, Dullahan. Alright. See our hit percentage? Dropped even more. Because our risk went up. Now, if you miss the first hit, don't keep trying. Your risk will just go up more and more. And you'll keep missing, and you'll take more damage. So I'm going to utilize the arena here. His strength came back up, so now he's taking much less damage. It would help if I hit the right button. So let's just eat one of those. You jerk. I don't have anything that will help me with that. So there's not much I can do about the drain attack. He drained my right arm. See that? The Minotaur, there's not a lot of strategy to the Minotaur. There's not even a lot of strategy to fighting Dullahan here. But you need to do more than just run up and beat on him. You gotta play it a little safe. We got him. If you need to back off and heal, utilize the arena, utilize magic. Let's see what we get this time. The least useful one of all. But an elixir of queens, and an elixir of mages, and the spirit surge spell, our first attack spell. So we want all of that for show. And we unlocked a new thing. I'll just take the top one. Do not forget, we saw a treasure chest. I have seen people forget about this one after fighting the boss. Rusty nail. It's a spear. We got our first gem. And some cure bulbs. Increases the success rate of non-magical attacks by 20%. Now, gems are something we don't need a workshop for. And the amount of gems that can go into a weapon depends on the grip of the weapon. So this grip allows us to tie in 1 gem. This increases our class by 3 against everything, which is very handy, and increases the success rate of the attacks by 20%. Also, it adds 2 to strength and 5 to agility. I'm not going to put it on the spear. I don't generally keep spears. I will use that with something else. Let's get some more health. Only 1 that time. Not as good. And some MP. Four MP is nice, and I'll take that. And we don't have anything to target with that spell, so we can't learn that spell yet. Okay, good enough. Normally, I just like hanging out till the risk gets down. There's a save point and a container. There's a reason I'm touching all the save points. You'll find out later. We have new enemies. I know that looked like a bat and sounded like a bat, but it's a big bat. Just like that is a not normal wolf. He's got stuff spinning around his head. That is a much bigger bat. Bigger, faster, does more damage. Just like this guy. And we are at a new part, a new section of the underground here. 0. There is a new noise you might have heard. It's this guy on the ground. That's way fast. Sounded kind of like a dummy. Was not a dummy. It's a skeleton. And he's trying to be sneaky. For some reason, attacking the legs of the undead seems to work pretty well. You saw that move minus 50. It means his legs, if we could see, would be red in his little icon thing down there. Little avatar. And same thing happens to you. If your legs go red, you move half as slow. You cannot run. You will just walk kind of about that fast instead of this fast. Oh no, another trap. They're everywhere. And the game likes to put them right there in front of a door. Gonna be honest, I usually forget about that one. Bats and skeletons. I like that the game makes the noise to give you an idea of what is coming up in the room. The bats just make the noise because they start coming for you. Yeah, see that? Did you see him? He got up. The skeleton up there did. I do wish there was a quicker way to change weapons. We're gonna take arm this time. Well, that's not good. Also remember, if you miss your first chain, all your other chains are most likely based on the damage that that first hit does. So if you miss, don't keep swinging, because you're not going to do 0 and then 13. You're going to do 0 and then 1. And then maybe you get it up to a good number, but not very likely. Take snake venom. There's a door over here. Where is it? It is up there. Can't get to it. If you look on the map there, it's not on the floor. I guess that's something for another time. Or maybe we loop around and come back that way? Who knows? Heard you coming, wolf. And I hear you rattling your bones there, skeleton. Took him a minute to find me. Now, if you miss the second attack, no big deal. Everything's based on the previous attack, so you can keep it running. Alright, looks like we got a locked door here, and even if you look, the arrow isn't green. It's rusted and won't budge. It would take an earthquake to open that. Thank goodness there's no earthquakes under the city. Right? Ah, these rooms. These rooms are not pleasant, and you should see why here in a second. That's a ghost. Ghosts are annoying. We have 1 minute to beat this ghost, and that's what makes them annoying. They have a ranged attack, and they teleport away. Let's learn our Spirit Surge spell. It seems to work well on ghosts. This is a single target attack, not an area of effect spell, so... You also might notice he doesn't have legs, so he cannot target his legs. Spell. Thankfully, the timer doesn't move when we're in a non-action kind of thing, like this. Timer only moves if we can move. I hate ghosts. But he gave us an elixir of kings, which adds to strength. That's handy. Let's see. Oh. So we have over there on the right, Sorcerer, Shaman, and Warlock. Those are our our spell types so far. There is one that will be on the X button. And over on the left, we don't have that break art anymore. It's because we don't have a sword to break art yet. Let's see what's in here. The Shandy Gaff, a great sword, some knuckles, and elixir of queens. The game is really nice. In this first little, I guess it's still kind of introduction. Oh, +3, that's fantastic. Normally you get 1. 5 is the most. 1 and 2 are the most common. That we got 3, that's pretty great. Rusted won't budge. The game is really good about giving you a lot of different types of weapons early in the game, so you can experiment with and find the ones you like. I like a one-handed weapon because I like using a shield. According to our map, that other door is unlocked, but something happened in here. Well, the ghost came back for one. Jerk. Occasionally, ghosts will drop spells. But, you know, we can't go back that way anymore. The rust also unlocked that door. We just can't get to the door. Or the rust, the earthquake, excuse me. Ooh, way slow. Way slow. Sometimes it's hard to do this and commentate at the same time. I almost thought about doing post-commentary, but it's a monthly and I don't want this to take forever like Little King's Story did, so. That would be a whole extra step, and basically a half-hour video would take an hour to make, and then I've got to spend another half-hour editing and rendering it. And I'm lazy, is what I'm trying to say. See what we're walking on? The attention to detail in this game, I find, is really incredible. And I appreciate it very much. Got a big room. We heard of a zombie. Let's get our zombie killer here. Look at that. We'll look at all these eventually. But let's just real quick compare. So the sword we started off with, it's got a risk rating of 1. It means our risk grows at the slowest rate possible. Attack is 10, pretty good. Ups our intelligence by 1, so magic gets a +1. But our agility goes down by 4. With this axe, attack is actually less, and agility goes down more. The crossbow has 3 times the range of our 2 handheld weapons. Risk goes up twice as fast. The attack is stronger. Agility is fine, but it again drops our intelligence. The rapier, stronger than our bronze sword, this Fandango here. But other than that, about the same. The rusty nail has got good range, good risk, pretty good strength. Intelligence is 2 instead of 1, but our agility goes down by 7. And the Shandy Gaff, not quite as good a range as the spear. Our attack is a little better, and agility is a little better. You know, actually, let's use the spear. And enemies will get more enemies and weapons both will get more intricate and ornate as the game goes on. I'll tell you that right now. I don't use the spears very much, so I don't have the timing on them. And different chains have different animations and speeds, so there's more to get used to. Yeah, there's your spear. And I don't have anything to defend with because it's 2-hand, so That's a bummer there. And the Shandy Gaff. Big old two-handed greatsword. I prefer these over spears, even though they're generally pretty terrible. And can I get the timing on this to save my life? Oh, there you go. This is why I stick with one-handed weapons. I like the extra agility, and I like being able to have a shield. Shields can and will save your life in this game. Way slow. I was expecting the big old greatsword attack. This guy has a greatsword. Oh, no, he doesn't. It just looked like one. Sorry. That's about as high as I want my risk to get, about that 25-26 mark. Oh, we have options, left or right. Oh, we got a little better. Let's heal anyway. Now, that looks like it's pretty insurmountable. We have some boxes. You'll notice the boxes are different. We cannot lift that one, we can only slide it. Let's take the easy way first and see what we can find. That would be a perfect spot for a trap. And more puzzles. Well, let's go the other way. We'll tackle this puzzle before we add a new one. So, like I said, we can't lift this one, so we just push it. This is different from the rolling one we looked at last time that we didn't get to manipulate. There is one of those in the next room, though. Puzzle solved. And there's like 2 other kinds of boxes that we'll have to learn to deal with as well. Whoa! There's a bat and a ghost in here. Not the shield. Oh, our shield's getting better. Better against beasts, phantoms, and evil. To get armor better, you just have to get hit by attacks. Unfortunately. So if you want to upgrade your armor, it's actually kind of dangerous. Oh, jerk. I didn't want you up here. Didn't want to do that. Not that it super matters, because I happen to know we will be getting... Bats are pretty good for dropping those. I happen to know we will be getting a pretty good weapon to use on the undead here shortly. So attacks like that target multiple parts of you, even from a little tiny enemy like this, can be very deadly. If that did double that, that would have been 60-70 damage that I got from one attack by that wolf. Now, let's look around here. Some coffins, some sarcophagi. We got some blocks over there, and we got a treasure chest up there. Now, we can't make that jump, so we need to get a block over here. Well, we can't move this one that I'm standing on, clearly, since we can only push it. So, get rid of it. This one, we roll. Then we can use it to jump up here. And then we can push this over here. And then we can get into the treasure chest. And what do we find? That undead weapon I was telling you about. A better shield and some upgraded other stuff. Here's numbness. The Eye of Argon lets you see all the traps. And a new gem which increases the power against humans. When we have our human killing weapon, this will definitely be going in that. Okie dokie. That's not what I wanted. I want that. if you do not come in this room, you miss out on this stuff. So, our Target, these are both made of wood. This is made of bronze. So our agility drops a bit. Right now we have 6, 10, and -1. This gives us 8, 5, -3. So the Pelta Shield, actually better against magic than the Target. So I'm gonna keep it equipped for now. I mean, the difference between it and strength, physical attacks is not huge, and I don't want to lose the extra 2 agility. We did get some new equipment here, though. It's 2, 9, and 0. 5, 6, and 2. We will take the knuckles. I'm okay with it there. Bandana 1 and 8, bear mask 2 and 9. No change anywhere else, so that's an easy one. And nothing else anywhere else. Armor clearly does not change your look. There were so many pieces that I don't think it would have been worth trying to program all that in, because you'd have to have like 50 new hats, and then would you make them different based on the material, and then you have to have something for his right hand and something for his left hand, and then his shoes. You know what I'm saying? All right, so here is the new puzzle. We have 2 of these rolling stones, as it were. We need to get up there. Back up a little bit. What do we do? Well, we know we can pick these up. So we could do something like this. And that's okay, right? If we roll this forward, we can't do anything with it, except go left and right. And that's not really going to be super helpful. We can't do really anything with this other than left and right. So let's get creative here. And we need 2 to make this jump. 1's not going to do it. We need at least 2. So here is what I recommend doing. We can't pick this one up and stack it on this one to get it on that one, so we need to get something else over here to stand on. So I will give this one a couple of rolls. And then roll this one forward. 3-dimensional thinking, ladies and gentlemen. Thought block puzzles were fun in 2 dimensions. Nothing as annoying as a couple of those from Bat and Kaitos, if you remember those. Some of those were really annoying. There's one, I think, late in the game that's close to that. And I will be utilizing my walkthrough for that. So, this Soul Kiss, this is a dagger. It is made of silver. Silver is a pain in this game because there's not a lot of things you can do with it for a long, long time. We will be stuck with the Soul Kiss as is for quite a while. The range is really low because it's a dagger. The risk is really low, but the attack strength is pretty good. And look at those affinities. 20 to undead, 15 to phantoms, and 5 to evil. Oops. Supposedly, silver on its own has an innate affinity for the undead. I don't know if there's anything to that. You don't find a lot of silver in the game. In fact, if we get even more than this, I would be surprised. Did you guys see how his wrist responded to shooting that bowgun? Go back and look. Oh, we're getting long. Video's getting long. I will find our next save point and we will stop there. Should be just in this room. I was thinking. Yeah, I was Positioned way wrong for that. Much easier work on the ghoul there with this thing. Alright, we have 2 doors. This one, and that one, and that one, which is locked. We are gonna go in this one for a real quick tutorial. Welcome to our first workshop, the work of art. In this shop, we can combine wood, leather, and bronze. Enemies do not spawn in workshops. We have a save point. Make sure you step on it. We have a container, and we can now access the rest of this setup option. We can assemble weapons. We can repair and combine them and do all this other stuff. First, we repair. Perfect. So, if we want to combine weapons, a weapon is made of a blade and a grip. So you have to pick a blade, which we have none of, and a grip, which we have none of. To get those, we either find them in chests or we disassemble some of the weapons we already have. You can disassemble shields, but it's not quite the same. Shields can hold gems just like weapons can, and this just takes the gem out of the shield. So, weapons. What for sure aren't we going to use? Well, I'm not going to use the rusty nail, so we'll take it apart. It will turn our 1 rusty nail into 1 spear and 1 spiculum pole, or spiculum, or whatever, spiculum, I believe. And we will disassemble our shandy gaff, which will turn that into a broadsword and a swept hilt. And now that we have our soul kiss, we don't need this rapier anymore. So that gives us a rapier and a short hilt. Okay. I'm gonna keep that. That might be good for later. Okay. Next thing we do is we combine, and this doesn't have to be just weapons, it can be shields and armor. So if I want to make a new shield, what do I want my base to be? The order changes things sometimes. So if I want to combine this pelta shield with my buckler, it's gonna give me another buckler, but in this instance, it's gonna kind of combine our stats. So we're gonna get the positive affinities from the pelta shield against beast, phantoms, and evil, but we're gonna get the negative affinity from the buckler, so our undead drops. And we lose our 1 point of intelligence defense. Now if I swap those around, will we get something different? No. Let's see if I combine the buckler and the targe. Then I get a bronze pelta shield. That is better than the wooden one. 7, 5, -3. What happens if I combine... This is how you learn how to do this. You just check it all. We get a quad shield. That's 9, 8, and -3. Now that's pretty good. What happens if I combine the thing I'd get from the other 2 shields with that? Well, I don't know. I just have to try it and find out. So that's what I'm going to be using that book for. One thing I will do without double checking though is I'm going to combine like these. That gets one thing out of my inventory and makes the one I do have better. So we have these equipped. We don't want to work on those. If I combine a leather glove and a bandage, I get a leather glove. If I combine a leather glove and a reinforced glove, I get a reinforced glove. What if I combine a bandage and a reinforced glove? I get another reinforced glove. Gloves I don't. Especially this early when they're all leather and things like that. Not super duper important. And if you combine anything that you have currently equipped, it will unequip it. So keep that in mind. So this doesn't change anything at all. Our DP stays the same. The stats for the Bear Mask stay the same. Affinity changes against physical ever so slightly, and blunt drops ever so slightly. But it gets one extra thing out of our inventory. Inventory is very important. Inventory management. So, next time we'll do a short episode, and I'll try and do this every once in a while. We'll take a little minute. We'll kind of look at some of the combinations. I'll get the book out. We'll talk about it. For now, though, we're going to stop, call it an episode because it's getting kind of long. And next time, we'll spend a little time in the workshop fiddling with some of this stuff. See you then.